Quiet.
This guy. Was this damage that good, Lala?
What?
Jump the guy who's in channel with us. Hell yeah, dude.
Alright.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't blame him. Where am I to find out?
Oh, this is a random pug.
He's 31, 13, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, he's a random.
I know it's IO.
How's it going, you guys? Jump Skills here. Today I'm going to be going over this SPG 25. If you watched the intro, these guys invited me into their group. Found them through Discord. The monk messaged me through Discord to run a couple keys. They doubted me at first, as you can tell from the intro. So I had to run a 24 academy with them. The DPS numbers is on the left hand side. And now I got invited or promoted, whatever you want to say, into this 25 SPG. We had one full wipe. Besides that, though, it was a clean run. This is my first 25 of the season. And it went pretty smooth, man. Just the first 25 of the season, and man, you could definitely tell the difference between a 24 and a 25. Let me tell you, dude, it's insane. So I was hesitant on why we didn't wait to pull this. Like, why would we pull this guy on a 25 on Fortified? I believe we should have waited, but we had one death. I don't know who was the person that died. I want to say, actually, I'm not going to speculate. I can just easily go back. But I'll probably go back another time. But yes, I don't think it was a smart play. Very sketch. This shade was definitely following me, and I didn't like that. I don't know how hard they hit on a 25, and it was just very sketch. I didn't like this first pull, but besides that, though, everything else was clean. I definitely did the last ads before the final boss. I did the hide and go seek mechanic, so I was just dodging every pulse that was trying to kill me. And I was doing the bait because I'm the only range, and it was not the cleanest bait. It was not the best bait at all, but it just is what it is. So we obviously skipped that pack. The tank said he's gonna be dragging these bugs downstairs, but my dumbass unfortunately resummoned my pet. So I resummoned my pet, and I end up have to dismiss and bring him downstairs again because my pets were stuck there, as you can see, and then they just start chasing a ghost. So I'm begging for them to follow, and I'm losing hella uptime just for it. So I just gotta remove my pets, man. Have to remove my pets, dude. It took me forever to remove my pets, dude. I was very annoyed. Blizzard has to find a way to make these pets better, dude. Like, they should follow you up or down regardless, right? Like, it's very frustrating. So, but that's on me as well, because I didn't dismiss at all and brought him back. So this is the wipe right here. The tank got annihilated. He got annihilated by something, and then I got annihilated by a curse, and then I got melee because there was no tank. So healer started to run back. Everyone's on the floor dead. I'm over here trying to figure out what else. Like, how did these guys die? The monk got destroyed by that curse. Like, on the 25, you just, like, it feels like one ticket's over. Like, I don't know how people do this on 29. I think the highest right now is a 29 timed on Fortifies. Like how do you do this? Like, do you just skip this pack or something? Like, this pack is very, very toxic. So he's about to come up. He was the only one with skip, but I could have easily camouflaged, but I'm very slow, and clearly Drew is a lot faster than I am. So he's rezzing us. Gotta get my pet out because he got 2 tapped before I went down. So just do our best to clear this guy as quickly as possible. We're just cleaving, making sure that everything is going according to plan. Get that Mark of the Wild buff, that verse buff. Cleaving, doing all that stuff. And then it was fortified, so I didn't need to lust for a while, which is good. I always enjoy myself not being on lust because I just feel like I lose so much DPS and uptime just switching between the two pets. Just making sure that these ads are rooted, doing this, that, and the other, because Tank was very scared about about these ads. He was preaching that these ads are the most difficult ads in this entire dungeon, and I'm starting to believe it because that dot is something serious. It hurts a lot. So it was very rough for our tank. My DPS was fine throughout this whole dungeon. I did not use Wailing Arrow because I did not talent to Wailing Arrow because in this dungeon you don't really use Wailing Arrow. Like, I can't think of any scenario you would use Wailing Arrow at all. You don't want to use it during the Dominators because if you do that, then you're pretty much gotta solo kick each Dominator, and I don't think that's ideal. I think that's kind of stressful. So I know they do it in lower keys, I guess. Like, they accidentally kick the Dominators, and then people are just having a field day saying, "Why did you kick that? Why did you kick that? Are you dumb? Are you stupid?" Like, just insulting the people that kicked the Dominator on the low key. I don't miss those days, man. I don't think you'll see me on the low key unless someone from the past comes back and just needs DPS and just needs to be carried and stuff like that. But I just can't see myself going back down there, man. It's very bad. It's very bad down there. Like, the 8s, the 7s, the 9s, and stuff like that. Like, I had to beg a mage and a marksman hunter to lust in those lower keys when I was doing it on my warrior. And dude, I swear to you, I never thought I'd lose my patience before. I was literally whispering him, like, "Do you not know how to lust this? Like, do you know what lust is?" And he told both of them, said no, they don't know what lust is. So I was just like, you know what, that's just what it is. If you don't know what lust is, then that's fine. You know what? I can live with that. Anyways, though, back to the video. This is very sketch. I mean, having Thundering during that mechanic is very sketch, but also give us a huge buff, so we make sure to hold on to it. We were just pumping away, dude. I love BM Hunter's single target, and it's kind of crazy too that I was told BM, even though they're known for their single target, they're not the best single target DPS spec between survival and BM. People have told me, and I've also heard that survival does amazing single target damage between BM and survival, so I just can't imagine what survival's single target damage is. So I try to make sure here that each what is it? Is it that dark phase, where this phase right here, this dark eclipse, I make sure that I at least have something, at least some type of cooldown. Like, I had to make sure I had a turtle, fortified to the bear, or I don't know the other I don't know that trinket. It's the one next to number 7. I don't remember what that cooldown's called. But I had to make sure that I at least had one each time because, dude, on a 25 fortified, it felt like a tyrannical, dude. Like, it just felt that deadly. Make sure the ad is dead. Use the buff as much as possible, especially in high keys. Like, you have to use the seasonal affix buff. If you don't, man, you're just squandering your chances on killing things, and you're just wasting more time killing ads, killing bosses, and stuff like that. So here, I think I used the other 2-minute defensive, and at this point, like, it was fine. I could easily defend each one if I played it correctly. Make sure this boss goes down, and yeah, we go on to the Dominator. So here, I did not have Wailing Arrow because you don't want to kick these ads at all during this, and this is a bad, like, this is just a bad room for shades because there's just not much room, right? Like, the room in here is just incredibly small. So once the shades were gone, I remember just hightailing it out of there, man. We were just kicking one ad at a time because apparently that's what the monk wanted. So we just gone ahead and did that. thank God the pally tank's shield did not interrupt everybody. So this shade right here is going after a melee or a range. No, it's going after melee. So poor melee. Like they have to run for their lives, dude. Like this demon hunter is going around in circles, trying to avoid that shade. And then here comes my shade, and get my pets on him as soon as possible, because I know I'm losing time, but I feel like I lose more time if I die to a shade and he's just chasing me around and I can't do DPS at all anyways. So make sure we cleave up all the ads, and then once the ads are finished, we just go right down. Like we're just moving, we're done. Like we just keep it pushing, so monk with a beautiful ring. I feel like monks is definitely helpful when it comes to shade week. Each class, well, some classes have their role, right? Like in rage they need a suit, so hunter, boomy, all those classes just bring something, and then a monk just helps so much with that ring of peace, dude. It's incredible, bro. It's incredible. So make sure that I'm cleaving down the ads. Man, we are pumping, dude. Like we are pumping away, and we're holding on to the seasonal affix, which I love because it's huge damage, dude. Like it's totally worth having, especially in high keys, man. If you coordinate it right, man, it makes such a world of difference about if you time a key or not. So here he's just making sure the kick's on. Shades are legit right behind us. The tank told us to go on ahead, do not get behind the ad. Well, my ass was behind the ad because I'm range and I could easily just move around it. So we get boss here. I think he asked for lust. Well, he said that once the transition phase is over, there's a DPS buff, which I did not know about. There's a DPS buff for killing your soul, and then you lust on top of that, and you get more DPS out of it. So I'm holding my CD. I'm holding my 45 Death Charm to make sure that I can kill this soul shade as quickly as possible, because I never been on the 25 dungeon. Like, this is new to me. This is my first attempt being in a dungeon this high. So I just wanted to make sure that I knew what the hell was going on. So make sure that this was on. Just kill it as quickly as possible. I killed it pretty quickly, to be honest with you. I was very shocked how quickly that guy went down. Yeah, we lust. Okay, I just wanted to make sure we did lust. Make sure that, and then the tank was pulling extra ads for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know the precise reason why people, especially tanks, pull. I heard a rogue benefits from this. When there's more ads, they do more damage. I think I heard that from somewhere, somehow, but clearly we don't have a rogue. So I'm just trying to figure out, like, what's the benefit for this group comp, you know what I'm saying? So we're just cleaving down the ads. I'm trying to make sure I cleave down the ads because I love cleaving things down. People have also asked me, do I run single target build in this dungeon? And I just tell them no. I will never run a single target build in a Mythic Plus dungeon ever. Fortified, tyrannical, I would never do it. I can't. I feel like I'm hindering the group at all times if I am running a single target build just for bosses. Like, that's just not what I believe in. And I believe that you should do as much damage as humanly possible for your class, because one, it's fun to do a lot of damage, and two, it's Mythic Plus dungeon. Like, if it was just all bosses, like if it was just all straight bosses, like if you're going from one boss to the other to the other to the other to the other, then okay, of course you run single target build. But that's what rating's for. You go from one boss, kill a couple ads, probably like 3 rooms worth of ads, right? And then you go on to the boss. Like, if you want to run single target there, then you can, but we're on a timer. You're not on a timer for raid. The only timer you're on for raid is trying to make sure you kill as much bosses as you can before raid time's up. That's the only timer that you have to worry about. This timer, you got to make sure that you kill and try to get as high as possible. So I'll never run a single target build for Mythic Plus. I don't care if it's fortified, tyrannical. I don't care if it's Shadowmoon, Court of Stars. That's just me. My Mythic Plus build is in the description down below. For most dungeons, I will obviously run Wailing Arrow, but for this dungeon here, there was no Wailing Arrow needed because Wailing Arrow did not help me in any case scenario in this dungeon because I never used it. So, gotta make sure that Beast Cleave and Kill Cleave is up. The shade was coming after me, which is a good thing, so our melee can focus on the ads. And I want to also mention that I did not know Demon Hunters were damn near S tier in damage. Like, I could not beat this Demon Hunter today. Like, I beat the Monk multiple times. I cannot beat a Demon Hunter for some reason. Like, they just pump so much damage. They just pump so much damage. Like a full-time Demon Hunter, I just can't beat. I can't beat. So we made sure to skip these ads. I'm worried about my pets pulling extra because my pets have reputations for pulling extra ads. So here, I like this pull a lot. Make sure my pets are on the way. Oh, and then it was Cleave City with the Thundering buff, man. It was Cleave City for not only me but everybody. It was just, we were just pumping away, pumping. And I try to hold on to that buff as long as possible before I get destroyed for it. So make sure that everything is cleaving down and everything. Bestial Wrath, Beast Cleave, all that good things. One thing to note, that those bats, if they spit on you, you can disengage out of it and it will remove the debuff entirely. So instead of having that ticking dot damage, if you disengage while you have it, then you can easily just remove it and you'll be home free. So now, having this ring, also on a side note, having this ring, man, it's been very difficult to keep my haste up. I've been dropping Frenzy a lot. It's been very bad, very bad, but the ring is still a DPS increase somehow, some way, but I hate not having the haste for it, but it is what it is. We're just popping away, and then he pulls extra, and then he told me to hard focus Moon to make sure that thing's kicked and hold on to the seasonal affix. And I'm telling you, I'm holding it to the very last T, practically to the last T that is humanly possible. Make sure that it's at 2, 1, and then clear every time, man. I'm trying to get every second of that cooldown. And the tank scared me. He was very close. He was very close on that thing, just killing us all. But pally tanks are just god tier. Like, they can do everything. Like, they are just on another level. They're literally interrupt kings. They can interrupt battle res, and they can off heal, and they do good enough damage. Like, this tank's doing 100k DPS on this pool alone. Like, that's just crazy to me. That's just crazy. Like, that's just insane. So tank wanted us to go on ahead. I had shades coming after me, so I'm free strapping, making sure the whole thing is CC, because dude, that thing was damn near just, he was close to killing me. And if that was Shadowlands, Sanguine, or not Sanguine, Shades, like, he would have killed me. Like, he would have reached out to his army and killed me. And the thing about Shades is that if you until you kill all the Shades, your DPS numbers will not change. Like, it will not reset from 0 to the next pool. Like, it's gonna stay continuing because the Shade is part of ads, and it inflicts and it tampers with your DPS numbers, if that makes sense. So this Shade would not leave me alone, man. I didn't want to use anything because I just had a feeling that the next Shade was going to come after me, but I ended up using it for this Druid because I wanted him to have an easier time healing, because if the Druid / heals dies during anything, like, it's over. And especially by a Shade, just not a bad look. And we already wiped once. So I'm trying to make sure that I use all of my CCs, especially for the healer, to make sure that he's alive as well. So I didn't use Bestial Wrath there because I knew that the ad was very low. So I just wanted to make sure that I had cooldowns for the next set of ads. Bestial Wrath, do all this stuff, making sure that everything's going good. And then what else? We didn't pull the extra ad with the boss, which is probably a good thing because it is Shade Week. So just making sure that everything is up to par. Oh, when I can keep my frenzy stack up to 3 and I get good procs through, like, it's such a huge difference. Like, it's such a huge DPS loss if you cannot keep up frenzy and keep your beast cleave up at all. Like, it's so bad. It just is, it's really bad. So having lower haste, especially at 19.2, it's been very difficult to keep it up. For my bar shot frenzy stacks, it's just been very difficult. So here, this is the longest, most pointless boss in this whole entire season. I've heard people say they hate this boss, that they don't like this boss at all. Personally, I think this boss is okay. I mean, it doesn't do much. You're pretty much just hitting the tank or the worm the whole entire time. But I'd rather have this boss than any other bosses in this entire dungeon by far. By far. This is the easiest, most chilled bosses. All the other bosses, anything can go wrong, right? The only thing that can go wrong here is a bad body slam. If you get body slammed, then you're pretty much dead. Unless you're a tank, obviously. But, yeah, that's the only thing you gotta avoid of. And the hailing, too. Like, it's not a bad boss. Everyone just hates because it doesn't scare them or something. Like, there's a reason why people don't like this boss, and they just think it's pointless and it's just a waste of time. So my second pet got destroyed. As you can see, his body's under there, and I'm waiting for my second pet to come back alive. And he comes back and he's ready for action, man. Why can't my main pet do that? If my main pet dies, he should be able to res himself out of my body and go straight into combat every time. But like I said, though, that's another conversation for another day. Blizzard has to first fix the glitch issue. So making sure that thing is right next for melee. For melee though, especially demon hunters, I've heard demon hunters had a hard problem hitting the ads or the boss from that distance. If the spit's not damn near up to his chest, then they lose a lot of DPS uptime. So that's what I heard. I've heard it a lot, so it must be true. So making sure that we keep things up, don't get body slammed and stuff like that. What I should have done in this boss is use Mark of the Wild. So when he goes underground, the Mark of the Wild will, or whatever he does, whatever his ability is, he goes down, he comes up. Whatever that case is, like, I should put Mark of the Wild so my group can find him as well, and not just me, because I have a ticking dot on him at all times, right, with bar shot. So it would be nice for my group to be able to see when he's emerging and stuff like that, because this boss is pretty long. Like, it's easy, yes, but like, it's just boring. It's just not as fun compared to the other bosses. So personally, I don't mind this boss, but it is what it is. So the group cleared. They cleared their stacks, and I wanted to make sure that I head on to my stack, because, dude, that's just a lot of damage to not have, and I benefit from it because I was the only one with it, and I feel like it would make the boss fight a lot more smoother and a lot more faster. So he goes down again, and we have, like, less than 10 minutes to go in this dungeon run, so, like, we're kind of panicking, we're kind of getting annoyed, but we still knew we were going to be able to time this. Make sure that I use all my cooldowns, because this is a 25. Like, I don't have any records or any data on how a 25 usually is. I have not only ran 125, and I did a bad job putting my frenzy stack up. Like, I did a really bad job making sure that it's up, and I'm trying to get ready for the next pack to make sure that those ads will be ready to die as quickly as possible, because we feel like we're slow on time. And then we're like, of course he goes down below, but he died. So here, make sure that I have all my cooldowns. I don't remember if I voluntarily cleared with him. No, I did not. I wanted to use this buff as much as possible. So only had like 5 seconds, and I'm just beast cleaving, kill cleave, all that good stuff. Very fun, very fun. I love having multiple ads, and I get to just cleave off them, man. That's just so much fun. So making sure all this stuff is handled. They have their kicks rotation down, but I still kicked out of fear, and like I'd rather it be killed than wait to the last very second to kick to get this full uptime that these people will like. Like I don't get why people wait to the very last second to kick. It just takes one bad lag or one bad game breakout just for it to go from good to bad because you wanted to kick at the very last second. I try to kick as soon as possible. I don't see no benefits. I just So we're less than this pool. Make sure to dismiss my pet, and I try to go to the left hand side and do the whole hide and go seek thing. I take absolutely no damage if I do this correctly, right? Like if I hide in that corner, like no one be able to contact me. Like they won't be able to hurt me. But when I don't do it, I take a little damage like that. I take a little bit of damage and we're kind of screwed. So I'm asking them guys to clear if they can, but if they can't, then I will just go clear. I turtled this because holy crap, like I didn't want to die, and then he did it one more time. We knew that if we were able to kill one of them, then this pretty much key is a wrap. Like look how much damage that did without any defenses or nothing, dude. Like holy crap, dude. Try to make sure that the circle is perfect around so I can go back to my corner, and that ad is dead with a shade spawn. And now this elemental is about to do his little AOE mechanic thing. I'm cleaving the shade, this, that, and the other. And yeah, it was pretty smooth, man. And then we had legit one shot to time this, dude. Like holy crap. We were so tight. Like we were so tight in terms of like emotion and stuff like that. Like none of us had timed the 25 except the pally tank. So the pally tank was the only one that timed the 25. So I was dismissing my pet and I had no disengage. I'm like, great. Off to a fantastic start. I didn't have disengage because I used it upstairs and I should not have used any of my movements, only for bosses. And it's just a habit. Like I'm not thinking about when is disengage going to come back and stuff like that. So off to a bad start. I used one of my major 2-minute CDs. Make sure that this guy goes down. He goes down nice and slow, and I'm waiting to make sure. I think he doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't frontal me, which is good because if he did, I would have been dead. Make sure that bait was on the floor, and I went to the hot spot by the druid, and then it quickly disappeared because I believe it said no hunters allowed. So making sure that this was done perfect, like as best as I can. There's groups that literally do it like this pathway that I don't remember or have any familiar. Like I just don't remember. Right? Like I just have no familiarity with it at all. Like I just can't do it. Like there's some people that want it this way, but that's slowed down a little bit, and no one really wants it done that way anymore, which is good because I didn't like doing it that way. And having me do mechanics in any case scenario, like, it's just not a good idea. So there's the almond right there, almond of death, and then I get frontaled. I'm just having a field day, and then I get the whole tag thing right there. So I'm just like annoyed that everything is hitting towards me, like everything. Like I understand the beams and the bait, but dude, the frontal and I can't. That frontal right there, and then you got the bones coming out as well. Just oh boy. And sometimes the bones usually come on my side too. Like I'm just like, bro, you can't make this up. So making sure, for padding reasons, I won't lie, for padding reasons, I make sure I cleave and also do damage to the boss, because that's the whole purpose, right? Like you want to keep uptime on the boss as much as possible. This boss is damn near dead. I think I told the group like this was going to be very sketch because I had to clear. Like I didn't have enough time to make from point A to point B, so I told them this is going to be very sketch. I didn't want to put it on top of the group, so I just stayed as far as I can because I did not want to die, man. Like we had 3 minutes left and this dungeon was looking really possible, so I just wanted to clear, get all that stuff squared away, and I'm just getting hit with everything, dude, with death and frontal. I'm like, bro, like if you wanted me dead, just say that. So I use all my CDs here. Use the 45-second cooldown. Make sure Beast Cleave is up at all times. And we were asking, like, we were talking among ourselves, like, do we want to commit or do we not want to commit? And I just said, no, we should not commit at all. So from here on out, man, it was pretty smooth sailing from here. We just did what we did. We just had one bad wipe, and my DPS was okay. It was alright. But thank you guys for watching, man. You guys have a good rest of your night. Peace.